ever notice that it seems like everybody who owns a business or is part of a business, all they want to do is scale? They see opportunity in front of them and they think, oh, I can take that opportunity and scale my business. We can grow what we're trying to do. We can move forward. They spend so much time thinking about the opportunities. I wonder how often they pause to consider the obstacles that may lie ahead. So today we're going to have a conversation around scaling, the obstacles, and much more on episode 883 of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hard to do with the cat on me. Sorry, Tom. He heard your voice and came running.
I don't know what that.
We're doing a program in the evening. We're recording this, so things are a little out of kilter. And my cat likes Tom's voice, and he usually shows up in the morning and wants to be held and purrs a bit. And tonight he heard you do the intro, and he was right up on the chair and bring it on. So you and Sam Hunt, buds
who may never truly connect.
Well, you could have met him today if you had checked your messages.
Yeah, if I want to be into a sneezing fit.
You could come in for like 30 seconds. We could have gone on my balcony.
Possible. Okay. I don't know. It's hard to get to the penthouse.
Not sure
the door
through the security. There's the guard that lets people in, and yeah, but I think you might have made it.
Well, we'll have to check it out another time.
Okay. All
right, everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast, where each weekday morning, Bob and I have a conversation around a topic of the week. This week's topic is scaling, and trying to have and understand a little bit about what that is. Yesterday, we talked about the opportunities. Monday, we had a conversation around what scaling is. And today, because with every opportunity, there are always obstacles, although not always do people pay attention to the obstacles or look at them, consider them. And so we're going to have a conversation around the obstacles around scaling. And as we have that conversation, if you have any thoughts or ideas that you would like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments. As Bob mentioned, we are recording this show, and so we won't be able to incorporate them into the video part of it. And though we promise we'll come back and comment on them as soon as we can. So please feel free to share your value. And then at the end of that conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you figure out if you're sort of frustrated, overwhelmed, uncertain, and just can't quite figure out what your next step is. That this might be the thing that maybe somebody's been telling you for a long time. You just haven't truly heard it until you hear it from one of us or from someone else. That allows you to move forward, to stop being stuck, to have more confidence and control over what's going on in your work, your profession, or even in your personal life. And of course, if you have a one thing that you'd like to share, your antidote, please feel free to put the comments as well. Before, though, we dive into that conversation, each morning, Bob and I share our celebration. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I'm celebrating that I have a new client. We had a strategic meeting on Monday, and we had a really good meeting and got some really kind feedback later Monday that it really had shifted the way he was thinking about his business, and he was energized and excited for what was ahead. So nice to know that you make a difference sometimes. Nice to get those words of affirmation.
Oh, you love that. You just can't be like, hey, I put my value out there and that's enough.
Yeah.
Struggle.
No.
It's not it.
No, that's not it. No.
Not carrying it for you. All right. Fair enough. I'll just have to carry that burden alone.
There you go.
Excellent.
What about you?
So my celebration is a thank you to you, because you reconnected me with somebody that I know. We had a nice lunch yesterday.
Oh,
and had the opportunity to talk about some things and go through a little bit about some of the work that he does and the work that I do. And so we could have a different understanding of where we're at and how we might find ways to work together, or at least to be more aware of what the other does that we might be able to reference or refer potential clients or people that we're working with when they're ready for the next piece. And there's a little bit of the work that they do that could come after some of the work I do, or some of the work that I do that could come after some of the work that they do. I think there's a synergy opportunity there for us to help, especially nonprofit organizations. And so it was an enjoyable lunch. And I'm thinking that we need to find a Thursday in August where we go up and become a part of their networking event on Thursday.
I've been to it. It's a good time.
Yes, it's a little bit of a drive for me, and that'll be well worth it.
I've got a week in August that I'm trying to fill some time with, so that might be a good week.
Just 1 week?
Yeah. I got a busy schedule, but there's 1 week where things are kind of quiet.
Heaven forbid you have a quiet.
I know.
It's amazing that you're looking that far ahead and you already know that you have a quiet week. And so let me just fill it up as quickly as I can and not leave open any opportunities that may happen to come your way out of the blue.
Correct.
Sounds like a good plan.
Exactly right. So can we hit on the topic?
Sure.
So obstacles to scaling can work both ways. There are two ways to look at it. You can have obstacles that you see that you don't recognize. And you could also be someone who sees too many obstacles. You're risk averse. And so every opportunity is filled with obstacles. Oh, we can't possibly give up this to do that, right?
Sure.
So I see it as both ways. I've been on both ends of that, where it's like, no, the obstacle is I'm really scared. This really scares me. No, I'm not. I'm just not comfortable with doing that. Or the other side is you just don't even notice the obstacles at all, and suddenly you get hit in the face by an obstacle.
Well, I think there's a third. I think you consider the obstacles and you have a realistic conversation with yourself or with others to sort of talk through what might the obstacles be, especially those that you might not consider because you might be too close to it. Or you might be, for some reason, applying undue value or priority to these obstacles that make you feel like they are not overcomable. And
overcomable?
I think that's a word.
Oh, get down, Sam. We got to look up a word. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm going to look that. I don't think so. But I'm happy to be wrong.
No, just incorrect. So I think that there's, there's lots of sides to it. And I think I've said a few times is that I believe that with every opportunity, there are obstacles. The challenge sometimes comes is we don't go look, we don't consider them because the opportunities seem so great. And I think, like you said, too, there are times when we feel that the obstacles are too great. You're finding it, aren't you? You have that look on your face like,
no, I'm trying to go to a real dictionary. I got like weird dictionaries that were like Wick to Dictionaria or something weird. And I'm like, that's not real.
And it had that word, and so now you don't believe that it's a word because some.
No, we had scramble.net. I don't know what that is. Yourdictionary.com.
So if you don't know what it is, it's not real.
Wiktionary. So I decided I would go to the old Merriam-Webster just because, well, we've heard of that. And there's also the Urban Dictionary, which is always a good answer. They say it's there. I'm sorry, Merriam-Webster? No, not there. So I'm going to go with that one. And if you really want me to go crazy, I think I could find a dictionary. You want me to go look it up in my paper dictionary?
That's okay. I'm good.
Okay.
As long as it's in the Urban Dictionary, that's the only one that matters. Or somebody believes that it's a word.
Okay, well, there you have it. Somebody.
So, And I think that that's, that those are some of the things. The obstacle, you think that is a word, so you're going hunting for this word when maybe the opportunity was, here's a new word that you could leverage differently so that you scale your vocabulary to include words that even trying to think of the correct word, even you could incorporate into your language.
You know what I've realized in the last 5 minutes? You're a night owl, aren't you?
Me?
Yes.
I don't know. A little bit.
You are a lot more perky now than you are at 7 a.m., dude.
What?
Yeah. Right, folks, write in the chat if you think he's more perky now than a usual morning at 7 a.m. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, because I've been so not paying attention and half asleep. And
I'm barely stifling a yawn all the way through this. This is late.
Okay. So do you want to get back? Is that an obstacle then? Are you saying that really the opportunity to scale our program, because we may have to record it sometimes at night, is an obstacle that you can't overcome?
If I had thought about it, I might have handled my evening differently.
I like the way you phrase that. Look at you. See? It wears off after 883 episodes.
I consumed a little bit of a beverage along the way, and I might not have. I'm fine, but I might have. It makes me sleepy.
Is that sort of like drunk broadcasting?
It is, but I'm not drunk in any way, shape, or form.
You're trying to call out your inner Howard Cosell?
Or was it Joe Namath who got in trouble?
Well, yeah. Joe Namath's on the sideline, though. I think Howard showed up that way many times, I think. Could be wrong. Don't want to denigrate his name.
I was going to say, poor guy. So, back to our topic.
Yes.
The obstacles of scaling. And I think I know very few people that kind of handle this well. It's either one extreme or the other extreme. And I think it's hard to do ourselves. It's really hard to objectively look at the obstacles, as it is hard to look at all the opportunities. I'm amazed at how many times when I talk to someone about something I'm excited about, they're either like, well, that's really a great idea. Why are you worried about it? Or, that's the silliest idea I've ever heard. What are you thinking? I don't get very many people who go, that's spot on perfect, Bob. You've really thought this through. You're ready to go. It just doesn't seem to happen because we're limited by our perspective, right?
And our knowledge and our experience. Yeah.
Correct.
They're all unique. And so someone is going to have other insights into what, about obstacles that we may not have considered, or more information about obstacles that we may have considered and maybe haven't fully considered. So yes, I think that's the challenge. When left to our own devices, we're limited to what we know. And I think oftentimes that's, depending on the type of person you are, you think the opportunities are so amazing, or you think the obstacles are too great. And so you let those extremes not allow you to figure out how to move forward.
And sometimes the obstacles come out of nowhere. I'm thinking back to about 10, 11 years ago when I was working with someone. We were trying to build websites, and we found a way that we could actually build websites. This was when small businesses generally didn't have websites. And we were figuring out a way that we could build websites for about $500. And we went out into the marketplace with it. We talked to 70, 80, 90, 100 people, and they all thought the price was too low. Can't possibly work at that price. We never imagined. We worked so hard to cut the price, that we cut it so low that people are like, that's too good to be true. What's wrong? And so we had an obstacle that we never imagined. I mean, I'm like, drive the price down, lower, 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 lower. No, not $9.99, not $7.99, $5.99. How can we do it at $5.99? So we go out and people are like, dude, that's not possible. I don't want your product. We only sold one. And in retrospect, I learned a lesson that there is a certain amount of price. There's a price that people are comfortable with, and if you come in really low, if Coca-Cola, if Starbucks decides tomorrow that they're going to sell their coffee for 50 cents a cup, people probably won't buy it because they're going, whoa, hang on, what have you done to that cup? That's not really Starbucks, is it?
Well, what was your sample size again?
100 maybe.
And how many potential businesses out there that might need a website are there?
Oh, but it was universal. It was the same discussion. And keep in mind, this was this was back in 2012, I guess. So we were in a different world. 65% of small businesses didn't have a website at that time.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't about the building of the website as they didn't think the website was necessary.
Could be.
Maybe the audience.
Then that's another obstacle we didn't properly calculate in our planning.
Or the other thing might be is who are the type of organizations, businesses that are really heavily focused on the bottom line, like nonprofits.
Right.
You could go into a nonprofit and say, "Hey, nobody else can do this, but we can build it for $5.99." You might have.
We did
a lot of takers.
We did not. We went to some.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think
maybe that's just ahead of your time.
Very, very much possibly so. It's also a lesson, I think, for me in you can't always know all the obstacles. You might get a surprise along the way.
Wait a minute. Are we back to thinking that we can control everything? And then
I think it's just being realistic as you can't calculate for everything.
Yeah.
So when you're scaling, there's going to be unexpected things. They may be obstacles or they may be, oh, I didn't realize this was amazing. Right? Opportunities, obstacles. And as you've pointed out a number of times, what might be an opportunity could very well be an obstacle or lead to another obstacle.
And vice versa.
Right. And I think that's the challenge with scaling. I think that's why a lot of people don't really try to scale to grow their company because they're worried about the obstacles they don't know.
Well, here's the other thing I think too is I think there's another obstacle as a part of it is that we give up control. For example, I'll step forward with an example of my own.
Whoa, get out of town. Folks, this is a miracle. I'm so excited.
As we've talked about, I like to do a lot of the things that it might make more sense for me to have someone else do. Mm-hmm. And yet I feel a sense of control over being the person who goes to the platform that we use to pay officials when I assign them for lacrosse events.
Right.
And could I delegate that to someone else? Absolutely. And there's a part of me that says, well, what if they don't do it correctly? What if they mess up? Maybe I'm the one who has to ultimately approve it and do it, which still would say they could put it all together and then I could go in and say, hit submit. And so I think that there's that part of it is like someone might not do it the way I do it. Now, as we talked about, I think yesterday, I did sort of allow some scaling to happen in my business. And one of the ways I did it was I let someone else, even though you sort of picked on me a little bit in the way that I shared it, do some of the assigning where I was not responsible for it. Someone else was, and even though they did it differently than I would do it, they had a pathway and it worked for them and worked for the organization. And we were able to move forward. And I think that, and for me, I think like that's an opportunity to see, maybe I can relieve some of that control in an opportunity to potentially continue to grow, if that's what I want to do.
Okay. Do you have your one thing?
Yeah, I think so. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to?
I'll go. Okay. I think when we talk about scaling and the obstacles, there are the real obstacles. There are the perceived obstacles. And there are the obstacles that you can't possibly foresee. And you can't control all three of those.
Or any of them.
Or any of them ultimately. And that is one of the limitations of reality. Right?
Yes. And I think as a part of that is you can choose to let that slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think sometimes we slow it down because we're worried about the results.
Mm-hmm.
Or we do the best that we can and say, hey, you know what? I've talked to other people. I've considered all this opportunity or this obstacle and how might I overcome it or how might I deal with it, and feel like I can't control what's going to happen. Even with this obstacle that I'm aware of, I'm not really sure what the impact is going to be, and make a decision that this is the action that I want to take and I'm going to take.
Right.
I just think that is the piece of it is, we can always look at the opportunities and the obstacles. This might be my one thing. And give one or the other more credence. And then let that drive our decision making. When in reality, as you shared, we never really know if we have all the obstacles or the opportunities, an understanding of them. And so really with the opportunity, if you believe that it is the correct time to consider scaling, whether that is scaling in growth or, as we've talked about as well, scaling and cutting back, you can find what you might be looking for.
I like that.
Thanks.
Wow. I hope we never do a night episode again.
Why? You didn't like this?
No, not at all.
Why?
I'm
because you had a drink before, or because you
no, because I'm tired. And I'm just
I did make you get up early this morning to do the show at
well, I was up either way. I've got the lights on me, and I'm thinking now that it's going to take me forever to get to sleep because I've got these hot lights on, and you're not supposed to have lights on you before you go to bed, so I'll be up for another hour and a half. And the Orioles lost today, and Rick Donovan's all upset.
Sounds like you're upset as well.
I'm disappointed, but I'm okay. I don't live and die by my sports teams like some people.
I guess it's a choice that we all get to make, correct?
It is. Yep.
And it's hard when you live and die by something that you have zero control over.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's one thing you can consider, and you might want to be like,
Yeah.
And yes, I know that wearing your lucky socks or, sitting in the particular chair while you watch the game has a magical impact on the outcome of the games.
It does. I think you're absolutely right. I'm glad you recognize that.
Yeah. Kind of like the conversations you had 3 weeks ago about, well, all we have to do is when we win this, we're going to beat this team in that game. Like the conversation we had. Well, the Orioles never do well on the West Coast, or those teams aren't very good, and we'll just win those games. Okay. Good luck with that.
Hey, they might get Ohtani.
Like I just said, good luck. You know what?
It could happen.
An interesting conversation as a part of it. That might be an Orioles thinking of that's how they would scale their organization.
Yep.
And they probably are seeing all the opportunities that could bring. I wonder if they pause to think about what are the obstacles that trade could create for the organization.
There you have it.
I'm sure the fans have not. They've only thought of the opportunity that it would provide.
Some of us have thought it through.
And like you said, you can't think it all the way through.
No, you never know. That's it.
All right, everybody. If you have any thoughts or your antidote that you would like to share, please feel free to put it in the comments. Even though, of course, we aren't going to be able to share it live in our broadcast, we will go back and comment on it. And if you're listening to the podcast where there is no place to comment, we encourage you to go to our Facebook group, Sculpt Your Business from Chaos and Confusion to Confidence and Control, where you can share your thoughts and ideas and value and your antidote there. It might be the thing somebody needs to hear to help them move forward along their own unique pathway to success. And while you're there, I have a feeling you might find something that you have of value that you might not have otherwise considered that maybe allows you to take that next step or to see that obstacle that you had never considered. Anyhow, we look forward to seeing you in that group. If not, we will see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.-ish Eastern time for our next episode of Today's Antidote.
Hey, whatever you do, embrace the renegading you, day or night, morning, noon, evening, it doesn't matter. Embrace the renegading you.
All right, everyone, go out and enjoy your day. We will see you soon.
Are you tired? Yes, tired. I'm tired right now. You've got to be tired of the problems you have with your business. You've got chaos. You've got confusion. Imagine for a moment, don't yawn, I know. Imagine for a moment going from chaos and confusion to confidence and control. That's what our Sculpt Your Business program can do. It's simple. Just go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. That's renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Or track down Tom or Bob, and we'll be happy to explain to you exactly how it works. You can sleep better tomorrow night if you get in the Sculpt Your Business program today.